Hello and welcome to Sports 360, your weekly dose of all big sporting events across the globe. Today on the show, Man City have won a third Premier League title in 4 years. It is the 7th time City have finished top of the English football pyramid and 5th in 9 years. Today, Sports 360 takes a look at the key factors behind Man City's Premier League title success. Bayern Munich have won their 9th consecutive Bundesliga title after Borussia Dortmund edged past RB Leipzig 3-2 in their Bundesliga fixture. India remained the #1 test side after the annual update of the ICC team rankings, and India head the table with 121 rating points. And in Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes secured victory at the Spanish Grand Prix after an intense pit stop strategy battle with Red Bull's Max Verstappen. And apart from this, we also have our regular segments, Goal of the Week, Player of the Week and the Sporting Moments of the Week. But first up, the cover story you are tracking this week. Man City have reclaimed the Premier League title following Man United's home defeat to Leicester. It is their third domestic round in 4 years and 5th since 2012. Here, Sports 360 take a look at the key factors behind their success. Ruben Diaz. Signing central defender Ruben Diaz from Benfica for €62 million and then pairing him up with John Stones seemed to have completely changed the defensive structure of the Man City. Diaz and Stones, with Rodri in front of them, have conceded 0.74 goals on an average per game after 35 games. They allowed a mere 78 shots on target, 18 fewer than the next best in this regard. They have conceded only 26 goals in 35 games. Since Diaz's signing, City have conceded 19 goals in the 30 games he has played. He was signed after they suffered their worst EPL start since 2008, which included a 2-5 loss at Leicester that saw Jamie Vardy scoring a hat-trick. Since then, the centre-back has been crucial in making Citizens the best defensive team. Clever selection and tactics. Firstly, in those difficult opening months of the season, when fitness was lacking, there was focus on defense. Guardiola toned down the high-intensity pressing games of recent seasons to preserve energy. The absence of a recognized centre-forward for a large part of the campaign, chiefly due to injury to Sergio Aguero, also forced City to play a different way. Although Ferran Torres proved useful makeshift striker, it is Guardiola's use of false nine that has been most eye-catching. De Bruyne, Silva, Mahrez, Gundogan and Sterling have all interchanged in the position, and opponents have been able to keep up.
Well, I had the feeling sometimes in other clubs I would not say because I've always been supportive in Barcelona in Bayern Munich, but I had the feeling that the manager always been supportive when you have success. And I cannot forget now my first season here, where I didn't win anything, the behavior of my chairman. And I cannot forget the big disappointment personally against Lyon, the support I had from my chairman. And that's why it's part of our success. It's absolutely dedicated to him, to support me, like me support my backroom staff because I support them, and of course the players to continue to do it. The target next season will be this one, to be close up there. But every season I had the feeling it's more difficult. Every season I had the feeling that comparing the first year when I arrived, the opponents are stronger, the managers are stronger, and every year United is stronger. Liverpool will be back like previous seasons because they have unlucky that many injuries in the same position. Chelsea is not necessary to tell what is going to be. Look, Leicester, like every say, no, Leicester in every season, last season always is there. And new outcomers. Arsenal, they trust with Mikel because I know perfectly Mikel. They will make a step forward next season.
When did it all click? City went 19 games unbeaten in the league from late November to early March, but it was not until a 3-1 win at Chelsea in January that momentum really seemed to be gathering. That was a third successive win and undoubtedly gave them confidence. Brighton, Sheffield United, Aston Villa all made City work hard for victories in the weeks that followed, but Crystal Palace, West Brom in perhaps a decisive blow, Liverpool was thrashed as they took command of the title race. By the time the winning run ended with a derby loss to Manchester United, it was clear where the title was headed. Goals from midfield. Ask the average soccer fan at the start of the season to predict who City's top scorer would be, and Ike Gundogan would surely have been way down the list. After all, the Germany international has mostly been a backup defensive midfielder since joining City in 2016, and the previous biggest haul in a single league campaign in his entire career was 6 in 2018-19. Yet Guardiola often talked of Gundogan's ability in front of goal, and it has been borne out this season during a remarkable scoring run in 2 months period starting December 15, when he netted 11 goals in 12 league games. No City player has scored more than this 12 in the league. Remarkable given the wealth of world-class attackers in the squad. Sports Desk, DD India. What a 12 months this has been for Bayern Munich, both on and off the pitch. The German side secured 9th consecutive Bundesliga title after second place RB Leipzig fell to a 3-2 defeat away to Borussia Dortmund. Despite wrapping up yet another crown before taking to the pitch, there was no sign of complacency as Bayern routed Borussia Mönchengladbach 6-0 to put icing on the cake.
Bayern Munich have been crowned Bundesliga champions for a 9th successive season, with Hansi Flick set to bow out with another title under his belt. Domestic dominance in Germany was confirmed with RB Leipzig slipping to defeat at Borussia Dortmund. Bayern's record in 2020-2021. The Bavarian heavyweights have flexed their muscles again in the current campaign, with none of their rivals able to stay with them. The title race has been taken down to the final few games, but Bayern have looked comfortable for much of the season. 4 defeats have been suffered through 31 fixtures, but 22 victories have been secured, 3 more than any other side has managed at this stage. That record has helped to keep their noses in front, with any slight stumbles being shaken off. Bayern star power. Robert Lewandowski has been leading the way again for Bayern, with the prolific Poland international striker hitting another 43 goals, with 36 of those coming in the league. Thomas Müller has also broken into double figures in the Bundesliga while contributing a further 17 assists to the collective cause. Joshua Kimmich has teed up for 10 top-flight efforts for grateful teammates, with his value to the cause being further underlined. Manuel Neuer has remained a model of consistency between the sticks, taking in more minutes than anybody else, while David Alaba is set to leave as a free agent on the back of another trophy-winning campaign. Müller and Alaba additionally set a new Bundesliga, becoming the first players to get their hands on the trophy 10 times. The bigger picture. Change is on the cards in Munich on and off the field, heading towards what could be a busy summer. A big money deal has been wrapped up by Bayern, while a number of other potential additions are being speculated on. The ranks at RB Leipzig have also been raided for Julian Nagelsmann, one of the most highly rated young coaches in Europe. He is due to take charge from 2021-2022, with Flick opting to cut his contract short. The chasing pack know they have work to do in a bid to close a gap that has seen Bayern remain on the loftiest of perches for the best part of a decade. Sports Desk, DD India.
Meanwhile, in Spain, Atletico Madrid closing on La Liga crown, but Real Madrid ensure title race will go down the wire. And now it's time for the player of the week. Mohamed Salah, in his 200th appearance for the Liverpool in all competition, netted his 124th goal for Reds. Only Roger Hunt, 133, and Gordon Hodgson, 125, scored more goals for the club in his first 200 games. He is the Sports 360 Player of the Week. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo has become the fastest player in the Juventus' history to reach 100 goals with the club. His 100th goal for Juventus is the Sports 360 Goal of the Week. Now shifting focus to cricket, ICC World Test Championship finalists India and New Zealand remain the top two teams in the Test Team rankings after the annual update carried out of the sports governing body. India have gained 1 rating point for an aggregate of 121 and New Zealand are only 1 point behind after gaining 2 rating points, which eliminates the result from 2017-18.
India remained the #1 test side after the annual update of the ICC team rankings. India hit the table with a rating of 121, having accumulated 2,914 points from 24 matches. Virat Kohli's men are closely followed by their World Test Championship final opponent, New Zealand, with a rating of 120. The Kiwis have garnered 2,166 points from 18 tests. India's 2-1 win over Australia and 3-1 win over England over the past year and New Zealand's 2-0 series win over the West Indies and Pakistan has helped it keep ahead of the pack. According to an ICC statement, the latest annual update eliminates results of 2017 to 2018. The latest update rates all matches played since May 2020 at 100% and those of the previous 2 years at 50%. England with 109 points has climbed a place to third at the expense of Australia's 108 rating points, down to fourth now. England's jump came after its 0-4 defeat to Australia in 2017 to 2018 was dropped from the rankings. Pakistan with 94 rating points has gained 3 points but remained at 5th spot, while West Indies with 84 rating points, who beat Bangladesh 2-0 and drew 0-0 with Sri Lanka in series played this year, has jumped 2 places to 6th, its best position since 2013. South Africa with 80 and Sri Lanka with 78 rating points have dropped a rung each to 7th and 8th positions respectively, followed by Bangladesh with 46 points, who has lost 5 points, and Zimbabwe with 35 gained 8 points.
This week in 2019, Josh Buttler smashed second fastest ODI 100 for England. He scored a superb 110 of just 55 balls against Pakistan, which included 6 fours and 9 sixes. Watch this in history section.
Step across the offside and then just dumps it along. Gets across and hoiks it over the left side. That is the slightly shorter boundary. Just gets it over the 32 minutes ago with Granada. They really are 32 more.
Now shifting focus to Formula One track, Lewis Hamilton beat Max Verstappen in a thrilling duel to win the Spanish Grand Prix and increase his championship lead over his top rival. Hamilton followed his 100th career pole by taking his 98th career win. He also tied Michael Schumacher's mark of 6 victories at the Spanish Grand Prix, including the last 5 in a row. Hamilton increased his lead to 14 points over Verstappen, who grabbed a bonus point for a fastest lap. Here are the winners and losers from the Spanish Grand Prix.
Winner Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is leaving no stone unturned despite his immense experience in his pursuit of a record 8th world title. In qualifying, he secured a remarkable 100th pole position, going on to convert it into victory for the 59th time in his illustrious career. It was also his 5th successive Spanish Grand Prix win, tying Ayrton Senna's record for most consecutive wins at a single venue. Senna won 5 straight Monaco GPs. Loser Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen did everything right in what was his 100th Grand Prix for Red Bull, but ultimately he did not have the pace to win. The Dutchman can take heart from having led 54 of the 66 laps in the process, ending Hamilton's run of consecutive laps led in Spain since midway through the 2018 race. This continues to be his best start to a F1 season, but he leaves Spain with a bigger gap to Hamilton and heads to Monaco, leading to find a way to keep his title challenge on track. Winner Charles Leclerc. This is the best Charles Leclerc has ever driven. He's reveling in having a machine that not only looks silky smooth out on track but has the pace to compete consistently for strong points finishes. Fourth ties his best result of the season and continues his run of scoring points inside the top 6 at every race this year. That puts him 5th in the drivers' standings and heats up an intriguing battle with Lando Norris, who's also scored in all 4 races and sits just 1 point ahead in 4th. Winner Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo needed a stronger weekend after a turbulent start to life at McLaren, and Spain offered the first real shoot of hope that the worst may now be behind him. The Australian beat McLaren teammate Norris for the first time, equaled his best result of the season with 6 and scored in Spain for the first time since leaving Red Bull at the end of 2018. They can take hope from Vettel appearing to be a touch more comfortable with the car, having received the upgrade package in Spain. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now it's time for all important updates from the sporting world.
Ramesh Powar has returned as the India's women coach after his first stint ended in acrimony in late 2018 amid a fallout with Mithali Raj. Powar was replaced by W.V. Raman and will now take over from the incumbent. While Raman's coaching tenure began in December 2018, the Indian team has been largely inactive for almost 2 years, including the time period after which the COVID-19 pandemic struck. India are all set to play 3 ODIs and 3 T20s in Sri Lanka in July, but it will almost certainly be a second-string side that will appear, with many of India's top-flight players likely to be in the UK on test duty. 3 ODIs will be played on July 13th, 16th, 19th, and it will be followed by the 3-match T20 series running from July 22nd to 27th. Although the Indian Test squad is not in action in July, they are scheduled to play in the World Test Championship final from June 18th to 22nd, before a 5-match Test series against England begins on August 4. Real Madrid beat Granada 4-1 to keep the pressure on leaders Atletico Madrid at the top of La Liga. The defending champions are 2 points behind Atletico with 2 games to go. Luka Modric gave Real the lead from Miguel Gutierrez's scooped pass, and Rodrigo scored with a fine solo goal. Atletico Madrid could win the title on Sunday if they beat Osasuna, and Real failed to beat Athletic Bilbao. Liverpool came from behind to beat Manchester United 4-2 and boost their chances of a Champions League place. Manchester United took 10th minute lead after Bruno Fernandes' shot was turned by Nat Phillips. After Liverpool had a penalty call overturned, Diogo Jota equalized with back heel from Phillips' shot. Roberto Firmino struck either side of half-time to help build a Liverpool lead and put Reds in control. Marcus Rashford pulled a goal back with 22 minutes to play at Old Trafford after Red Devils' response. Mohamed Salah made 3 points save for Liverpool with last minute. Fulham are relegated from the Premier League after 2-0 defeat at home by Burnley, with first half strikes from Ashley Westwood and Chris Wood enough to secure safety for Sean Dyche's side. Ashley Westwood opened the scoring after being teed up by Matej Vydra. Chris Wood doubled the lead just before half-time with a brilliant finish. With this win, Burnley climbed to 14th in the table. For the first time in the Premier League era, all the relegation places have been confirmed with 3 games to go, with the Cottagers joining Sheffield United and West Bromwich Albion as the clubs to drop into the Championship. Portugal is a strong candidate to host the Champions League final after UEFA did not gain guarantees of exemptions. It wants to move the game to Wembley. UEFA, UK government officials and the Football Association met on Monday to discuss moving the game between Chelsea and Manchester City from Istanbul. UEFA has decided it will be moved after Turkey was put on England's red travel list, meaning fans cannot travel. Portugal is on the green list, so fans would be allowed to attend on 29th May. Manchester United's Uruguayan striker Edison Cavani has signed a 1-year contract extension at the Old Trafford outfit, having hit a purple patch in recent matches. Free agent Cavani arrived at United on a 1-year contract in October with an opinion of another 12 months but was undecided about his future after a difficult start to life and the club after a social media fox pass resulted in a 3-game ban. However, Cavani overcame his early issues to take his goal tally for United to 15 from 35 games in all competitions so far, with 8 goals in 7 matches, including one in 3-1 league win over Aston Villa. Former Barcelona midfielder Andres Iniesta has extended his contract with Japanese football club Vissel Kobe by another 2 years. Spanish World Cup winner Iniesta signed a 3-year contract with Kobe in 2018 after leaving Barcelona, where he won 9 La Liga and 4 Champions League titles. Since Iniesta joined the J-League team, Kobe's won their first silverware at the Emperor's Cup last year and also qualified for the 2020 AFC Champions League for the first time in their 55-year history. Japanese tennis star Kei Nishikori said he agreed with compatriot Naomi Osaka that organizers have to discuss whether they can hold the delayed Tokyo Olympics safely due to the coronavirus pandemic. There has been increasing pressure from the Japanese public to cancel the games, which have already been postponed once from the original dates last summer due to the pandemic. Former world number 4 Nishikori said it could be difficult to host the Olympics even behind closed doors due to the high number of athletes expected to take part. Serena Williams, playing the 1000th WTA match of her career, crashed out of the Italian Open in the second round, weeks before her bid to make history at Roland Garros. Second seed Naomi Osaka of Japan also fell at the first hurdle in Rome with defending champion Simona Halep of Romania, the third seed, retiring with a calf injury. Due to a surge in COVID cases globally, Badminton World Federation and tournament organizers Singapore Badminton Association has announced the cancellation of the qualifying event for Tokyo Olympics. This was the last qualifying event as the deadline was set for June 15 for qualifications. With this, the Tokyo Olympics door was slammed shut on Indian shuttlers Saina Nehwal and Kidambi Srikanth. With their chances hanging by a thread after the Malaysia Open was postponed on May 7th, the Indian duo had pinned all their hopes on the Singapore Open that was scheduled to be held from June 1st to June 6th.
Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said that he was never put the Olympics first. An opinion poll showed nearly 60% of the Japanese people want the Olympics cancelled less than in 3 months before they begin. Japan has extended a state of emergency in Tokyo until the end of May and is struggling to contain a surge in the COVID-19 cases, raising further questions about whether the game should go on.
I've never put the Olympics first. My priority has been to protect the lives and health of the Japanese population. Let me address that clearly. In terms of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, it is important that we must first prevent the spread of the virus. The IOC has already made a decision to hold the Games and notified countries as such.
That's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we wrap up, we leave you with the sporting moment of the week, where Russian President Vladimir Putin scored several goals in a match of ice hockey. Namaskar.
Provocative,
Never say war is out of the question. You want peace, prepare for war.
persuasive,
We're going to avoid a Libyan solution in Myanmar.
pragmatic,
It's their prerogative to make any law they want. They can claim the whole planet if they want. But you know what? It doesn't affect me.
watch the straight-talking Foreign Minister of Philippines share his views about India,
You did the right thing. You stood your ground in the Himalayas. You just wouldn't yield.
the Quad and Indo-Pacific,
If a member on its own is invited, then it can participate.
and tensions in the South China Sea.
Our boat sinks. And guess what that does? That will be regarded as an act of aggression on the United States. Once that happens, it triggers the MDT and that triggers World War III.
In an exclusive interview, at this time only on DD India.
Et là aujourd'hui, mon vie remercier Premier ministre Modi et gouvernement l'Inde qui fait nous vin premier pays l'Afrique qui l'Inde yo fait sa nouveau vaccin Oxford AstraZeneca. Et ce vaccin nous pour capable donner toutes nos populations, nous pour capable donner ban du monde qui parle à 60 ans.
And I would like to express our sincere gratitude to your government for the supplies of the Covishield vaccine which have just been handed over to us. I would also like to thank my colleague, Foreign Minister of India, with whom I've had a few exchanges recently, for the prompt consideration of our request made earlier this month and for the personal role that he and yourself, High Commissioner, have played in ensuring the expeditious delivery of the vaccine to Seychelles. Thank you very much.
Provocative,
Never say war is out of the question. You want peace, prepare for war.
persuasive,
We're going to avoid a Libyan solution in Myanmar.
pragmatic,
It's their prerogative to make any law they want. They can claim the whole planet if they want. But you know what? It doesn't affect me.
watch the straight-talking Foreign Minister of Philippines share his views about India,
You did the right thing. You stood your ground in the Himalayas. You just wouldn't yield.
the Quad and Indo-Pacific,
If a member on its own is invited, then it can participate.
and tensions in the South China Sea.
Our boat sinks. And guess what that does? That will be regarded as an act of aggression on the United States. Once that happens, it triggers the MDT and that triggers World War III.
In an exclusive interview, at this time only on DD India.
With the world's largest COVID vaccination drive, India is leading the way. As the vaccine reaches every corner of the nation, do not forget the mantra, Dawai bhi, Kadai bhi. Let's continue our fight against COVID-19. Vaccination along with social distancing, sanitization and masks.
Mask up, India!
Put your mask on and cover your nose and be safe.
Mask Up India.
Kitchen waste, green waste, dried leaves from the garden, which are a source of carbon.
The money we received from the government added to our savings all went into the rice mill. I was into athletics before going in for judo, which really attracted me. It is a wonderful sport for girls and very beneficial.
Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi, people of India, the government of India, I want to thank you all for your donation of vaccine to Jamaica. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. India, I will be seeing you soon. Alright? Thanks again. Love and appreciate it. Thank you so much.
As the day unfolds and news and events take shape,